Hey everybody, we are live here on Popcorned Planet. You missed my whole parody of Screen Junkies, but that's if you didn't catch the live play, you're going to watch the replay. In order to do that, become a member. Hit that join button. What are you waiting for? Support me, man. Do what you can. I'm wearing a Screen Junkies shirt today. The pain for April Fool's Day. But I'm so happy to have Juancho in the building. What up, Juancho?
How's it going, Andy? How's it going, Screen Junkies out there?
We're on Screen Junkies tonight. April Fools. They can't stop me when it's an April Fool's joke. All right, but we have a lot to talk about tonight, and I wanted to talk about this DC news that dropped today. And hold on, I'm so loud. You're right. Hold on, let me lower this. Now is that better? I shouldn't have been so loud. That should be better. Check, 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 check. It should be a little bit more normal now.
Check out my melody.
Okay.
Check out.
That should be. Hopefully that should be better, guys. Sorry, I when I did the James Charles video earlier, everything had to be overcompensated. All right, but we're here to talk about DC because big news happened today where DC's moving some movies around, and Ava DuVernay's New Gods as well as James Wan's The Trench are not moving forward at Warner Brothers. Now, I'll be honest. There's one of these movies I was looking forward to more than the other. Can you guess which one it was, Juancho?
I'm guessing the one with the fish.
Yes. Yes! Juancho knows me. I thought The Trench was an interesting idea. Watching that was the coolest scene for me in Aquaman. It was kind of spooky, and I like James Wan. Him doing an underwater horror movie. Yeah, I was like, cool. Sign me up. Especially if kept it sort of low budget. So I was kind of excited for that one. So I'm kind of sad to hear that one's gone. They must not have had much of an idea. They must have been worried that it's like, yeah, what are we going to do with this weird movie? But as for New Gods, yeah, I haven't been interested in her. She Wrinkle in Time. I mean, Selma. I know she's done some good dramas, but really didn't like Wrinkle of Time, and I still wonder what. I don't know. Eternals doesn't excite me, but I'm excited for Chloe. What's her name? Chloe. That director, I forget. She's Nomadland was fantastic. Anyway, I'm slowly getting intrigued by Eternals, but the idea of New Gods, now that we just saw Darkseid, it just feels ill-timed to me. So there's never been one that I was super excited about because I don't know the comics either. But now to know that these both are been pulled is very interesting. So let's see what they say here. Terror of the Deep and the Fire of the Apocalypse won't be felt anytime soon. The upcoming slate moving forward without Ava DuVernay and James Wan's films. As part of our DC slate, some legacy development titles, including New Gods and The Trench, will not be moving forward, DC said in a statement. We thank our partners Ava, Tom King, James, and Peter for their time and collaborations. Inviting Adon in here as well. There we go. We appreciate them. Their skillful hands as we move forward in the future. Their project. Sorry, I got distracted. Hey, what's up, Adon? Welcome as well.
What's up?
During this we thank our partners Ava, Tom, James Wan, Peter Safran, and their time and collaboration during this process and look forward to our continued partnership with them on other DC stories. The projects will remain in their skillful hands if they were to move forward in the future. Okay, so all they're saying here, sorry, I was confused by how that was sort of being read, but what they're saying here is it's canceled. They're both canceled. However, if we decide to move forward with them later, we will bring them back. It's a interesting statement because they were not as polite to Zack Snyder. You know what I mean?
They were not.
When they canceled SnyderVerse, it felt like they weren't opening the door, right, Juancho? I mean, it felt like they were slamming the door on Zack. Do you get that vibe?
They were slamming the door. They were changing the keys. It was very unceremonious. It was best of luck in your future endeavors. Just vamoose, away with you.
And I want to thank Mugget Agarwal became a member tonight. Thank you so much. See, I mentioned joining, and you guys joined. So don't forget, hit that join. It helps. You really are just funding the channel when you support, and you get a lot of extra content. And we're doing screenings now pretty much weekly for Best Movie Ever. We watch the worst movies ever screening, and I'll reveal this week's next. We watched it yesterday. So members, you won't want to miss it. It's a lot of exclusive invites, fun, extra content, and the replays of all the full live streams if you miss them. So thanks so much. Throw some planets in the air in the chat for Muddit joining a membership. I appreciate you, man. Hopefully get some more as well tonight. But yeah, watch it. You're totally right. They changed the locks on the doors. They did everything in that. And so to see that they're being so polite here to James Wan and DuVernay.
Right now, either one of two things is going on. Either they learned their lesson on how not to do PR with Snyder and they're being super polite, but they're really just not satisfied with the outcome with as far as development, or they actually mean it. And they're actually right now is not the time. Let's just go ahead and just put this on ice for now. We'll check you guys later. So at this point, it's anyone's guess.
Yeah, and I want to get your thoughts, Don, but let's keep reading, and then we'll come to you next. New Gods with DuVernay has been developing as a directing vehicle with acclaimed comic book writer Tom King since 2018. So it's been in deck for a little while. Would have brought to the screen the comic book characters created by the late legendary Jack Kirby. DuVernay, however, remains in the DC fold and is currently working on the DC series Naomi for the CW. The Trench, meanwhile, was to have been a horror-tinged project spinning out of Aquaman, focused on the group of deadly amphibious creatures seen in the $1 billion grossing film. Noah Gardner, Aidan Fitzgerald written the script. So there was a script which Juan was developing as a producer. Juan, too, remains in the DC fold. He'll be prepping to shoot Aquaman 2 for studio later this fall. We're still waiting to hear if Amber Heard has in. Now that he lost the appeal, which was unfair and not just, they may feel like they can't, but I've heard she's already gone. It'll be very interesting to see them finally confirm whether she's in or not, because they're going to get some attention either way. The projects are being shelved, but like many comic characters, could come to life down the road. Led by Walter Hamada, is leaving the door open to revisit these properties in the future. Again, look at this article. This is such a puff piece for these films. DC's given them such a polite, you know what, we're not ready for this, but we'll hold the door open and revisit it maybe later. It's just not the plan right now. But we're going to definitely work with these
filmmakers. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they were trying to advertise it for it. Maybe they're trying to generate public interest in it more with this, oh, hey, by the way, we're canceling it. Maybe they're going to get people to try to restore the Trenchoverse, whatever the hell.
Well, but it's just fascinating because they could have done this for the SnyderVerse too, but it only reaffirms what I've been saying, that they don't want to please those fans. They are angry at those fans and they want to be done with those fans. I think it was a power move that Ann Sarnoff did. DC's building an interconnected slate in which projects will feed in and out of the big screen, the small world, such as James Gunn's Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, The Batman, and its Gotham City Police show. Tom and I loved writing New Gods with you. DuVernay wrote, along with the photo of herself king, I'm upset the saga of Barda Granny, Scott Granny, high-five the few areas this way. I mean, it is frustrating because Zach just pretty much showed a lot of the characters. Diving into Kirby's fourth world was the adventure of a lifetime that can't be taken away. Thank you for your friendship, and remember, Dark Side is. So there you go. So while everyone's talking about Snyder's dark side and Granny goodness and all the stuff, apparently Ava's not going to get her say. With The Trench, sources say that the upcoming Aquaman sequel is considered enough, but Warner's could come back to it down the line if there's thirst for more adventures set in the Atlantic Kingdoms. Clearly, they just want to see, do people really still care about Aquaman? I think they're probably thinking they will, but let's own Aquaman 2 first, and if that's a massive success, we have the script, we can greenlight that quickly. New Gods, which has been sprawling tale, was complicated by the fact that its villain, Darkseid, just appeared in Justice League. Yep. And there was a desire to have space between the latter and any new appearances, so that might be why SnyderVerse sort of just stopped Ava's movie in its tracks. Except for the Batman, which is set in an alternate Earth known to the geeks as Earth 2. DC's plotting films and shows share its same universe. Key is setting up a new status quo in The Flash, which will tackle the multiverse and is said to also lend clarity to the future of the Justice League with multiple Batmen, as well as Supergirl appearing. So nobody's really reporting on this one. It's kind of a big news here, the fact that they're now admitting, The Flash is going to set up and clarify what the future of the Justice League is, with multiple Batmen, Supergirl. So they could completely reset this. I want to go to Don since I haven't heard from you, Don. What do you think of that idea? Do you think they could reset the Justice League? Do you think they will try to reset our expectations of what the Justice League is at the end of Flash?
Actually, I do. That's been my theory from the get-go, that they just want to use Flash as basically their version of Days of Future Past. They want to redo everything using the Flash and using that as the starting point, which technically makes sense. I mean, that's how it was in the books. And if they're trying to distance themselves from the Snyderverse, what better way to rewrite the entire universe with the Flash? Yep. I mean, and in all honesty, they could do that and still end up changing Ezra Miller. By the end of the thing, he could look completely different and just say that's a byproduct of changing it too. So they can rewrite everything. You're right. This does sound much nicer than the last article, where the last article was more, this is what's happening. This is straight to the point. This is sweeter. There's a little bit of sugar on top of this.
There's hope.
Yeah. Well, they say we may bring back stuff. We may do this. We're not going to do this right now. There's they're leaving it ambiguous in certain areas where they're saying, yes, we're not going to go this route, but that's for now. But the other one was no, this is definitively cut. We're not doing this part. We're not going to go that route. So there's definitely a tone difference here. Absolutely.
What were you gonna say, Wancho?
I was actually about to say, like, considering the contrast with the difference in these two PR releases between this one and the one about basically canceling the SnyderVerse, these guys definitely earned their money. They probably deserve a raise after this. Whichever PR firm they got to help piece this together. Now, they also managed to slide in a little micro synopsis for the Flash movie as well to go along with it. Choice work.
Yeah, it's all very fascinating. This article, definitely, this little thing at the end is also another sort of like interesting little, well, wait, how much did they actually get of this? Are they assuming that? But anyway, I am, now we know Black Adam, Shazam 2, Fear of the Gods, Blue Beetle, Batgirl, Supergirl, Green Lantern, Static Shock, Zatanna, another Wonder Woman, Superman from J.J. Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates is all in the works, as well as the Batman. So that's what they're focused on now. But I am surprised that like New Gods didn't just get like a HBO Max. They clearly want everything on HBO Max. So these are two, potential movies that they already had on deck that they could have just greenlit to have programming ready to go over on HBO Max. So I'm slightly shocked in that regard. However, the scripts must not have been worthy. They must have realized the fact that they are now paying attention and being more selective to me is a good sign. It's not a bad sign. The fact that they're making moves saying, no, the SnyderVerse is done right now. We're focusing on some new angles. And no, we've even stopped New Gods and The Trench. It shows it's not just a slight at Zack. It's a choice that someone is trying to create a clearer vision moving forward, which to me, if that's the case, then bring that on. Bravo. That's to me what we've been hoping for. You know what I mean, guys? So I don't see this as a massive negative yet, but it's definitely telling that Warner Brothers is keeping the door open, as they say, for these two, but sort of making it clear that they're moving on from the SnyderVerse. Because I still, don't you guys agree? Like, they could have easily left the door open for Snyder without so shutting it. I do feel like the way that they shut that door of, Ann Sarnoff's interview, like, yeah, we're done with the SnyderVerse, felt very slammed, where they could have said, yeah, you know what, we have no plans right now to do it, but clearly, as the fans have proven, anything's possible, but we're grateful for what Zack does. I hope we can work with him in the future, but right now, we're focusing on, you could have done a in-the-middle sort of thing like that would have left it open and kept it friendly with Zack, and they chose not to. But yet they did it here with Ava DuVernay and James Wan, so it's funny to me. That's very strange. Well, there you go. That's our DC news. And as others have, I see others have sort of picked up on this. Flash movie will lend clarity to DC's future. Yeah, it better. The Flashpoint is their opportunity to really reset and set the tone. And it's hard to keep doing that over and over again. So they have a get out of jail free card where they can reset the world as they want and still allow it to be sort of a way to justify futures. So it is a really good card to play. However, it only works if you have someone who's really a good leader in charge of, all right, now what? How do we make sure we don't make the same mistake again? How do we make sure we're unifying these visions as they keep saying they're gonna? Do you guys have faith that they will?
Faith is a lot to ask for.
You know what? I'm hopeful. I'm going to say I don't have the faith, but I am hopeful. I've seen what they've done. They've done that basically with the DC anime universe, because they did that for like 10 years with the DC anime universe, and the starting point was Flashpoint, and then they just started from there. All their animated movies for up until, was it the last Darkseid War film?
Yeah, or Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
Yeah, all those films in between there, except for maybe a handful, were all in unison. They're all part of a storyline. And the starting point was Flashpoint. And they just said, ignore everything else. Start from here. If they're going to take that mentality and then actually do justice to the characters as they write.
Do justice, he says.
Pun not intended. But I'm just saying that's where my hope lies. I've seen them do it in other storylines. They just not in live action form.
Guys, we have breaking news here from Marcus. Holy moly. This is from comicbook.com.
Oh, really?
I just verified. Justice League sequels officially announced as Warner Brothers agrees to restore the SnyderVerse.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, what? Holy
Wait. Holy, this is not a troll thing, right?
Holy what, Marcus? April Fools! Ah!
Not true.
That was just mean, Marcus. Come on, Marcus. Just trying to kill me. You're trying to kill me here. Yeah, no, that's not happening. That would. I mean, I would have given Warner Brothers so many points if they had done that today. If they really wanted to be like a boss, they would have been like, "We heard you. We heard you. We are now restoring the SnyderVerse." And put it all out as an April Fool joke, and then.
Hey, would you like a 2-for-1 special here, Andy?
Hey, what's up?
We're actually getting ready to stream over on the Ravens Flock in 10 minutes for our grand finale of our show, the Wednesday Night War, our wrestling recap show.
Oh,
I got
cool.
Jose Casabona here.
What's up,
Hey,
Jose?
how's it going, Andy?
Hey, man.
Can you see him?
Yeah. Let me just wrap up our topic, and then we'll say hi because I'm going to clip this one for YouTube. But yeah, good to see you. Let's talk in a second. But I think if they had April fooled us and Warner Brothers had actually done it, it would have been a massively funny trolling to do. But no, they didn't go that way. So, oh well, what can you do? But let's clip this here. I'll check in with them and everybody else. We got lots more to talk about. We're going to watch the James Charles apology. Is it the worst apology ever? I may clip it for later. If I don't, again, hit the join button. Consider joining the Popcorn Planet family. The community here we're growing is so awesome. So much content and fun stuff for you to watch behind the member wall, as well as just supporting the channel for a monthly commitment. It's like a 2-drink minimum, as I explain it here. If you watch a lot of the content, if you can chime in, it's a good way to sort of guarantee if I get enough of you guys doing that, it helps us sort of rely on income throughout the month. So thank you to all you've subscribed and joined, and thank you to Wancho. The Ravens Flock is his channel, as well as Nerd Tots for Adon. Go support them both, and we will be live in a second. Don't go anywhere. If you're watching live, don't leave. We're not done, but if you're watching the replay, why did you miss the rest of the show? Come on, go watch it. Go watch it. You can watch the replay in the member community tab.